Hey, my name is Bassanio Peters. I'm the founder and CEO of Assist to Develop. Wanted to talk to you about the APC Fellowships Technical Boot Camp that we were able to help conduct. It was a great opportunity to prepare, folks from South Central Los Angeles for careers in clean technology, engineering, and manufacturing. So what we wanted to do in our 2-week portion of the boot camp was teach the fundamentals of computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing, and electronics. So CAD stands for computer-aided design, CAM, computer-aided manufacturing. We wanted to give these students a foundation for them to build upon, right? So we did it by creating a blended learning experience. The reason that we did that is because we can have students take a baseline test to really understand where they are, right? And considering a majority of the class, I think it was something like 60% of the students had no experience. We knew that this was going to be important. So it was a mixture of in-person, hands-on instruction, and then self-paced learning. So we did some lecturing, hands-on, and then again, self-paced. It promotes an effective mean for us to be able to communicate all of this information to brand new people, but then also presented opportunity for collaboration amongst their peers. Again, more than 60% of the fellows had absolutely no experience in the industry. And one of the quotes that we really wanted to push to them because they were frightened is, look, if you're not frightened that you might fail, you'll never do the job. But if you are frightened, you'll work like crazy. And that's a quote from Cesar Chavez. So the way we broke this up was, again, 2 4-day sessions, 30 fellows broken up into 3 of the different groups. And then we had the students at the end kind of pick their own project. I won't go through that in this video, in this presentation, of some of the projects that they selected. But basically, it just helped them to showcase some of the knowledge that they ascertained throughout the course. So again, this is just a couple images from the course. We have some videos, and I'll send some links to that as well. But challenges turn into real world opportunities. This wasn't something that was accounted for. LACI, there was some materials that weren't ordered. So one of the first days we had to kind of pivot. And what we did was give a project for them to do some napkin sketching and research and think of different projects that they could build, and then evaluate the equipment, raw materials, processes, and answer, can this be built? So we basically sent them on a scavenger hunt throughout LACI. You want to make this part, you want to make this project. Do you have the raw materials here on site to be able to build it? And then processes on some of this equipment, do your homework, do your research. And then they presented their findings, which was great. So they were able to go through and present some of the work. And again, this is great because it's real world, right? As you're working in your career, things happen and you have to pivot and you have to be able to make decisions on the fly and test your problem solving skills. This is a great opportunity to show that. To that end, we decided to take the students on field trips and bring in a couple of guest speakers. So one of the great ones was going out to 2-Bit Circus. If you're not familiar, 2-Bit Circus is basically an indoor amusement and theme park, and they have different, not necessarily rides, but different attractions like escape rooms and things like that. And a lot of engineers, both engineering, manufacturing, and electronic disciplines were showcased. So Andy Baker was great to give us a private tour of the place and then also just speak about his experience. Thanks to my guy, Taj Eldridge, who was able to come out and speak about what's going on in clean energy. What are some of the innovations that are coming? How do you fundraise and what's the process as a startup founder? Again, these are primarily a lot of folks from the inner city Los Angeles area that maybe don't have exposure to this. So he got to tell them what VCs look for too. And then what are some of the challenges in hardware, in the hardware space specifically. Mike Albert, former Imagineer at Disney, came in and spoke to the students about communicating through the power of design and asking yourself why or why not. And that was important because that was something we were stressing even in the very early stages throughout this process. And as you can see, he taught some of the students how to do some of these napkin sketches, and you can see the students effectively working through that here. So again, one of the big focuses for us was, again, with that napkin sketch, how can you take a concept to a prototype? So that gets into some of the computer aided design work that we did, and you can see some of the students going through. And we had, again, it was a blended learning environment. So it was self-paced, as well as we had some of our mentors and some of our coaches and our professors walking around and working with the students. And then we had some basic time where it's just lecture based as well. The electronics course, similar thing. There's some audio in the videos here. You can see the engineers and some of the students were excited with some of the stuff they were doing.
So distance measurer, and as you pull back, we're in the metric system.
And then computer aided manufacturing, same thing here. You can see, some of these students or participants that had absolutely no experience, getting able to get their hands dirty with some of the equipment, some of the machines was exciting for them.
What's doing? Going through the G code. Line by line.
And where'd you learn that?
From the Campflex. Actually, from William, who coded.
William.
Will's in the house.
Will is in the house.
Engineers.
And that was part of the excitement. Some of these, folks were learning from their own participants, their own students, their own peers. Yeah. Yes, sir. And that's, again, goes back to the collaboration that we really tried to push. And that's why this blending learning environment was so great, because it fostered that collaboration amongst these disciplines, amongst these different groups of people. Sorry, I'm going to let that play out a little bit more. So you can see all the different students working together, and they were competing a bit too, because we put them together in different groups. And same thing here. If you want to lift yourself up, lift up someone else. And that's really, it's a quote from Booker T. Washington. And this is what we tried to express through this course, to really, support and help each other out. And I think the students did a fantastic job of that throughout the process, as you can see, that collaboration. And it just really just made for a better environment overall. And what was exciting about this and this whole experience is some of the statistics. Again, I told you we wanted to give these students a foundation to build upon. So early on, we had them take baseline tests through a platform that I have access to, the self-paced learning tutorials. I'm a partner with Solid Professor, and it's all these different training courses. So we had these students take a baseline test. That's, hey, look, where do you stand before you came in? And then in the end, there was review tests. So the introduction to CAM, computer aided manufacturing, average score of 90%. Electrics and Arduino, average score of 85. A CAD course, average score of 80. But what was great to see some of the improvements. One fellow, improved 64%, 56%, and another 44%. So you're talking about a foundation to build upon. The students left this course with this opportunity to be able to expand their knowledge, expand their skills. And again, it was great to run this course. We appreciated the support from LACI. And what was great is that of those 30 plus participants, 15 of them were awarded internships at LACI's portfolio companies. So of the several portfolio companies. And one of the students was actually a dreamer and then was hired by LA Department of Water and Power, LADWP. So again, we think this was a great overall program. We want to expand and do this in different cities and different regions, because there's just immense opportunities in front of us. And as far as career placement, as far as the future of work, and we want to prepare people who are from different backgrounds and different experiences to showcase their skills and show what they have, what it takes, just by giving them an opportunity to learn the skills necessary.